Whoops. This little incident happened during the 2024 Arctic photo shoot, and it's a fun story. I wasn't planning to ever tell this publicly, but in honor of getting 1,000 subscribers, I'd like to set the Wayback Machine and share it for everybody's amusement. Stick with me as I pull back the covers on the photo shoot. I think you're going to like this story. On this day, we started out at the Arctic paddock first thing in the morning where they kept all the snowmobiles. They gave us the morning off, and we got to go for a trail ride. Of course, we took the sleds used for the photo shoot, which were all fresh from the factory and were all unique. One-of-one snowmobiles. If we wrecked a snowmobile or damaged it, that was it. They didn't have a backup for the photo shoot. I was given a 2024 Arctic Riot 9000. With electronic power steering. The Arctic crew knew who got which sled, kind of like a fighter pilot being assigned a specific airplane for a mission. This will become important later. Imagine being able to pick from a lineup of snowmobiles that nobody could buy, had never seen before, and wouldn't be announced for months. Parading past the Skidoo and Polaris riders at the resort, it's hard not to feel exceptionally lucky. It was cool when we'd see everyone stop and look as we rode by. From the rider's perspective, the photo shoot wasn't very difficult work. The hard part was all of the logistics, the video and photography crews, all of the planning, all the equipment, getting the right shots, etc. We didn't have to worry about any of that. All we had to do was ride around on snowmobiles, which we loved. As I said before, the Riot 9000 is an awesome sled. The smooth and endless power of the Yamaha 998 turbo engine is unlike anything in the industry. It really is something everyone should try at least once. But when you add power steering to the Riot, you cancel out some of the handling characteristics of the Riot 8000 that make it a bit challenging for some riders. I was enjoying the Riot 9000 a lot, even if I did have a slight problem as I coaxed it to the side of the trail during one of our stops. But let's not focus on that, shall we? At another stop, one of the people involved in the photo shoot who was along for the ride complained about the Riot 8000 he was riding, theoretically identical to my own sled back home. I understood that it's not for everyone, and I offered to trade with him. I said my Riot 9000 was handling very well, and he'd like it much better. The next stop after that, he said it was much better. Meanwhile, I didn't have any problem with the Riot 8000. It handled fine, as well as mine at home did. So now I'm stuck with it, and I didn't think it was fair to trade it with anybody else. Remember, everyone back at the resort knew I was on the 9000, but we weren't doing anything risky, and I knew everything would work out fine, and it was. At the next stop, I traded with another rider so that I could get seat time on the new Catalyst Riot before, just for comparison. Even though the Catalyst Riot has a narrower ski stance and handled much better than my own Riot, no offense to Riot owners, this was even better riding Riot than the 9000. I really liked that machine. Somehow in the switching of sleds, I ended up directly behind the rider who was on my Riot 9000. This was near the end of the ride, and we had been through a rough section of trail. My arms were starting to get tired, but I was used to that sort of riding from Minnesota. I think this may have been the first ride of the season for the guy on my snowmobile, and I imagine his arms were probably starting to feel it. None of us flatlanders were used to the elevation either, and that probably had something to do with it also. He didn't seem to know why he veered off the trail like that. Just for fun, let's watch that one more time in slow motion. Alright, that was fun. Alright, when we got back to the paddock, we dropped sleds off, but we were in a hurry. We had to rush off to lunch and then headed out for the afternoon photo shoot. Nobody ever said a word to anybody about the little incident. Unfortunately, we neglected to clean the branches out of the Riot 9000, And it didn't take the support crew very long to figure out that something had happened to the only 2024 Riot 9000 in existence. And guess who was blamed for it? It was me. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that little story. I've got big plans for videos this fall and winter as the snowmobile season approaches. Thanks for watching. And for my 1,000 subscribers, thanks for subscribing too.